Hi everybody, today we're going to create a basic Jot form. We're going to pretend there's an event that you want to create that captures the name, email address, and how many are attending. That's pretty basic. So you come up here to the left corner after you create your Jot form account, log in. You'll see create form. So you click create form. This is a basic one-page form. Then when they click on it, they will go to a page that has all the questions. This is the single question per page, meaning that when they click on it, they're going to get the first question, then it'll slide. The second question, then it'll slide. This is great for a phone, for answering forms on the phone, but it must be really short. So anyway, we'll start with the basic classic form so you can see the whole form in one page. So let's hit create a form, create, and let's call the event tester event. All right, hit create. It's going to give you a blank form. It's going to give you the name of the event you put here. And underneath that, immediately what I do is I put the day, date, time, and location of the event. So that way when the person registers, sometimes you'll click it and you'll forget what day you were registering and what day the event was being held. It's right there on the form. You can add color by clicking that little tiny paintbrush. If you click on one of these boxes, you'll get some colors. I just ask that, I recommend staying very basic. For a form. Okay, now comes the main important stuff. Over here you have form elements. Everything from full names to short answers to long answers, to drop down, single choice, multiple choice, and file upload. There's a bunch of options here that you can experiment with, but we're going to stick with a basic form today. Now you come up here, you're going to need the person's full name. You click on it, it's there. You always capture the email. Double click, sorry. You always capture the email address, always, always. And now we want to do a drop down to select how many people are going to be attending the event. So now you have your 3 questions. And you should always have your questions prepared before you start your form. Now, one thing you know right off the bat is that each one of these questions must be answered. So what I do is I come up and I right click on each section and hit require, because I'll often forget. So I require it. And this is going to be a required question. Now this question here is going to be how many people or how many adults, whatever you want to call it, how many adults are attending. And now in this area, to get this filled, it's blank. You would put your number in and hit enter, your options in. So I'll put 1, enter, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have a lot of big families. 9, 10, oops, 10. And then I save the changes right here. Now you have a form that has 3 required questions that's ready for you to check. Now up here, clicking that button will show you what everybody, the preview form button will show you what everybody else will see when they click that registration link, and you can even test it. You can go in there and fill out your name, you can fill out your email address, and how many, who are attending, and hit submit. Just remember that usually I put in here, I'll put in tester, so that way when you're finished with the form, you'll realize this was just a test registration. And you can see now that the requirement is working because it needs to be required for me to hit submit. So anyway, we're not going to continue. I'm not going to finish the form. So I go up to preview form and shut that off. Now we're back into the edit section, and these are the 3 things that we're going to ask. Now, you're not done yet, because what we need to do is we have to figure out the settings of what's going to happen once they complete this form. So you click the settings tab in the top center, and what is going to happen is the first thing that I'd like you to do is go over to the left and select emails. These emails are the autoresponder email, which is the email the registrant will receive, and then the notification emails. If you click on the little pencil here on autoresponder, this is what the person is going to see in their email. They're going to get, we have received your response for form title. That is a field. It's capturing whatever you've written in this field is going to be copied up here. I usually change this and put you are registered. It just seems more welcoming. You can add more welcoming text or information in this section here, like hello, be sure to arrive 15 minutes early, yada yada yada. See you there. A little bit neater than that, obviously. And you can hit save. Down here, we're not going to hit that yet because we have a couple more changes. And then what I do is I come down to the bottom, I highlight both these boxes, and I hit delete because I don't like sales in my in my Jot forms. It's just not very professional to me. Now I hit save. Okay, so now you've set up your autoresponder. The important one to me is a notification email. That's the email that the person that you're going to receive every time a person registers. Now this can be you or your designate. And right here what it's doing is the email subject is going to say regarding the form title, and it's going to list the name and the name of the registrant, and they're getting it this field right here. So if Bob Smith registers, it'll say form title, tester event, and then it'll say Bob Smith. If you want to change it to registration for, and then form title, but you can do that. That's what I usually do. And then the important piece here is the recipients. Now, the email here that you put in recipient emails is the email that is going to receive a copy of all these registrations. So you be careful with this, but you can put your volunteer coordinator's name in here, or the ministry leader in here. You could put a couple of people. You can put, I like using Bob Smith today, so it could be a Gmail. Whoever you put in here is going to receive a copy of every one of these. So let them know it's coming. They may want to create a folder in their Outlook or something. Okay, so now you have to have one person at least. And now you can save that. So now you've set up your notification email and your autoresponder email. If you go back to basic settings and you write in form settings on top here, you'll have your event, and it's also going to give you the form status. Now, this is important. This is if you want the form to stop on a certain date, you would click on this and put the date that you want the form to shut off, and it'll give a message to that person. What I usually do is this event is full. Contact warwick@graceoc.com for more information. Or you can disable it at a submission limit. If you notice here, submission limit. So you put in you want 20 people. Now remember, if you're doing couples, you don't want, this is not going to give you 20 couples. I mean, this is not going to give you 20 people. This is going to give you 20 couples, because each registration is for Bob and Mary. It's not going to count them as 2 people. It's going to count them as 1 registration. So always do those connections, keep those connections in your head. So if you're doing it, a registration, and that person puts in for 7 families, it's still going to count as 1 registration. So if you're setting it, you know, you have to be careful. Someone has to be monitoring how many people are within that registration. So my favorite is a date. So, but if you want to choose nothing, then you come up, or you can you can choose both a date and a submission limit, or you can just leave enabled. That's what I usually do. It just goes until somebody tells me to stop or turn it off. Now the other piece is the favorite. How do you get this to dump into a Google spreadsheet so that way you can share it with everybody, or your volunteer coordinator can just look at that one sheet all the time and see who's volunteering? You go over to integrations on the left margin and you click on that. What you click next is Google Sheets. And what that is going to do is bring you to an authenticate button. And what that wants to do is it's saying that Jot Form wants to talk to you. It wants your permission to talk to your Google account. When you click that, it's going to ask you which account you want to use. Now, I've already have it set up, so it goes right. I select my Grace account. And right now, it's going to, here, allow. And now it's going to say it's going to create a Jot form called tester event, and it wants me to complete the integration. Please create a specific Google account, Gmail account for your campus. Do not share or create this form on a personal account. It's just, you never mix the two. All right, so you come in complete integration. Now, right now, it's dumping everything that you've created into a Google spreadsheet. So here we go, and it's going to give you a link to that spreadsheet, and then you click on that link, and here is your spreadsheet. It's the event on top. It'll give you a list of the submission date when people registered, and all the questions that you put in there, including additional information. Now, here's the important part, sharing that link. Come up to the top right, click Share. This will allow you to, this is 2 options here. You can share it with other people by just maybe putting your volunteer coordinator in here, or, you know, your campus coordinator, your operations coordinator. And you come over here and make sure that you choose what they can do. Because if you leave it at only view, they're not going to be able to edit that form. They're not going to be able to do anything to it. So make sure it says edit. Another option is up here on the right, get a shareable link, which means you're going to share it with, like, you don't care, many people. So you get the link, and you select what they can do right here. It gives you the options. You copy that link, and then you can put it in an email and send it to the whole world. But just know that whoever has that link, whoever they share it with, and they share it with, and they share it with, is going to have access to that information. So be very careful on how you're sharing. Again, you can always share a link down on the bottom with specific people. Okay, so once you do that, they'll get an email saying that they have a Google spreadsheet shared with them, and they can click on it and they can see the registrations as they happen. So you go back, and now the last piece to the puzzle is coming over to the top here and publish, which means you've completed your form, and here's the infamous Jot link that everybody is waiting for all the time. This is the link that you can insert into your program or send by email to somebody, hyperlink it to the form, and people can start registering. This is the key to it all. Okay, so now you've created your form. It's basically done. Now you give that form link out, you're sharing it, people are registering. How do you monitor it? Okay, you come onto your main Jot Form page, and there you're going to see your events. I have them alphabetized, so unfortunately, I think I called it a tester event. Oh my goodness, let me see what I did here. Yes, I did. So now, if you click on the tester event line, you'll notice on the right, it'll say edit form, or there's more options. If you drop that down, you can view the submission. Now we're going to view the submissions on another form to make it a little bit easier, because we have no submissions for the tester form. So I'm going to take a look over here and pick up something like here, Give Hope Movement. More view submissions. Okay. Now anybody who submitted something will come through as a list, a running list on the bottom of each individual. Say you're just looking for one specific event and you find it, blood drive. You click on it. The actual full registration is going to be at the top. It's going to give you a whole one sheet of that entire registration. You can print it right here to use, to give to somebody. You can send it in an email to somebody if they're missing the registration. You can save it as a PDF. Now on the bottom, if you want a whole spreadsheet of all the registrants that have registered, you can click Excel. It'll create one, a whole spreadsheet for you, CSV file version or PDF version. It's very, very helpful if you're just looking for one specific one, because you can come to the bottom and you can literally search the submissions for, like, here we go, Bob Smith again. We can look for Bob Smith right here, and it'll search to see if he's a registrant. So that's always very helpful. Okay, so that's basically all there is to it. What I suggest is if you head over to YouTube and look up Jot Form videos, you will definitely find some more. Or you can look at the Jot Form, support section, and they also have forms, videos there and information there on different types of forms that you can create. Hope this is helpful.